Hi again. So in this part 2, I'll be going through with you the procedure of actually using InDesign software to begin our first draft. So we'll begin by showing you how to actually open up a document. What I'll do is open up an email, and this email that'll have the template shared with you, and simply download the 2019 template each time as an InDesign file. Of course, you must have Adobe set up on your computer for this to work, which we'll sit down and do later. So let me just do that. It's just loading up. Okay, so you'll notice this notification. Just ignore it. It just means that there's pictures on the page that you don't have on your computer, so that's all right. Okay, so now this is open. I'm just going to adjust the sizing so you can see everything. Okay. Next, because we're all starting, every single time we use this, we're starting from the exact same template. And so what we're going to do is just make sure that we differentiate this is whatever edition that it is. So we're going to change the file name. So for what you guys would do for this next edition is write September 2019 or sept, whatever 2019. We're going to do file, save as, and I will write practice video and save it to my desktop. Perfect, okay. Next, if you recall, this edition is only 4 pages, while the standard of the template is 8, as you can see here. So, what we're going to have to do is delete some pages. What's important to ensure, though, is that we keep the first page because it has the cover on it, and these 2 pages because this one has the masthead, and then delete these 2 and these 2 and keep this one because this one is connected to this one. If you recall, it's like 2 pages stuck together. So what we're going to do is, I know you can't see the top over here, but what you press is layout. These are all at the top window bar. Pages, delete pages, and I will delete pages 4 through 7. And now we only have 4 pages left. So we're ready to go. Now the paper is ready to be put together. What I'm going to do is recreate the first page of the May issue so you can see what using the software really looks like. First, I know I have to start with news, as we discussed before. So we'll open up this file over here. So each time that there's an edition of the newspaper, you're going to have shared with you a file called whatever it is for this issue, for the current issue, with different files within it for each section. So we'll start off with news. For a regular issue, what I would usually do is open up all of these articles and read through them and decide which usually 3 I'd like to have on the first page, just because it's easiest for me that way to know what I'm getting, what I'm working with. But for this particular issue, Dina and Molly told me that they wanted which articles they liked the most and which ones they wanted on the front. And so we're just going to do one of them. And I think that would be best to do the prom article. So we're just opening that up. So see, you can see here that Dina gave me some notes. this in big letters. So sometimes maybe I or Gina will leave you notes like that, and you'll just follow them on the article. Okay. So pretty much all you have to do, it just made the most sense for this one to be highlighted. So I think I'll put it in the middle and make it really big and special, I guess, because it was like the juiciest headline. So all you have to do to get it on here is just highlight the whole thing. Make sure you can't do Command A. You just have to highlight the whole thing because you don't want the title and stuff. So Command C and Command V. Okay, so you can see here that it's not exactly in, oh, also notice how over here we're in this mode. It's not exactly the right width or length to fit the entire thing, and I would like it to take up 2 columns. So what I'm going to do is start down here because I know I want to add in a picture at the top to make it stand out, but obviously the whole thing doesn't fit. So what we have to do is simply adjust, and now it's the width, and now just bring it all the way down to here. That's where the page ends. But you can see this still isn't the entire article, so what you have to do is press here and click, and the whole thing copy paste again. There's a red button. Drag it up. And if it's still uneven, what you can do is just adjust it. It'll adjust itself. You want to make it completely even, just for aesthetic purposes. Highlight both of them. Use the arrows, bring them down. You know how to do this, hopefully. And now you have the article on here. However, if you recall, in the previous video, I told you what the font and style is supposed to be, and this is in bold italics, so the sizing and spacing in the font is right. However, we want it to be in regular, which may adjust it. Oh, and then you'll see we switched to text box mode. We may need to adjust a little more because of that, which is fine. Okay, and that's also if you can see here that if there's like a teeny little bit that needs to be adjusted, I always make it shorter on the end rather than the beginning. So yeah. Alright, so now the article is officially on here and we can move on. So as you can see, I left some room for a picture because I know that this is a really juicy article and I'd like it to stand out. So we'll just keep going with it. Okay, now that the text is in, we'll add in a headline. So once again, I know this is a really good article, so we want to make it a big headline that's succinct, clear, and firm. Those are my 3 keywords for a headline. And what you do is you press this T button and simply drag to make a text box. So what I decided I wanted it to be for the headline to be for this one is simply prom, here I'll zoom in, cancel. Obviously this isn't the right sizing, so all we have to do is just play around with it. So I'll highlight it. All you can really do is just play around, make it big. and I did want it to be bold italic, which is already in. And you just have to switch back and forth between all these fonts just to make sure that they all fit. And you can just, if you adjust everything, hopefully it'll all fit. You just have to play with it. And this looks good. So next we will add in the title of the author, which is a similar process. We simply press this text box. Sometimes you have technical difficulties, so press the text box button. Put it in right here. If you recall, it needs to be in bold, DIN condensed, and all caps, so we'll just adjust that. Bold. Sometimes it takes a while to find. Interesting. Oh, here it is. So this one was written by Meisler. Oh, forgot to change the numbers. So that is in 11 point and 13.2. So now that looks good. There we go. See, this isn't really that bad. We got it, guys. I usually like to put it, oh, I just realized this is off. That's not good. There, like both of them are pretty much aligned to that purple column. Oh. And that's not what we want. Yeah, I like to have both of them aligned to the purple column. Then we can add in a line, which you just press this button right here and literally just draw a line. Make sure it's straight. Perfect. Go back to the mouse, and then we can add in the pictures. So the pictures, as I mentioned, is kind of tricky. All you have to do is drag it in from the side, from your desktop, and you can obviously see it's just way too big. So what we're going to do is, there's two things you can do. You can crop it and adjust the sizing. So to adjust the sizing, you double click, press shift, and then with your mouse you can adjust the sizing. So there we go. That looks pretty good. Click out of that. Use the mouse, move it over here. Just keep going with that process. Just move it up and down. And then, okay, so for the cropping, all you have to do is press this blue rim, move it up. We can do it on both ends. So yeah, you just gotta play around with it. Crop the picture as you please, adjust the sizing of the text as you please, but pretty much this is what it'll look like. Oh, and then we can move this in. We want to not have it in that little white space because we're going to add in a line there once you add in your other articles. But yeah, this is what an article will look like. So cool. Thanks so much for watching.